thank you so much to the AAG, I think, for hosting what's probably the biggest event of the year that we've had so far, and we're helping to have a great relationship with the men and women of Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you very much.
We're all here again with Rita Vaswani and this extraordinary organization. This time we're honoring the new sheriff, Kevin Mihail, and Hannah Brown, who has been a fixture in this community for decades and decades. Both of them have made extraordinary contributions to all of us, to the community, to all of us individually, and I'm so delighted to be here. I leave it to Rita to honor the absolute perfect people at the absolute perfect place. So I want to thank Rita for doing this again. We have over 240 people here at the Mint restaurant to celebrate these two remarkable people.
Hi, I'm Carla Perez, and I just want to thank the Asian American group for this lovely event tonight, honoring our new sheriff and honoring Hannah Brown as well. The Asian American group does so much for our community, and while Mike couldn't be here, obviously in person, his presence is still felt to this day. Congratulations, Rita.
So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and address a couple of things that you'll see from my administration here very quickly. First, however, before I do say that, I'd like to just say to my friends from the FBI, Ray and Spencer, the SAC, I saw you launch the new political corruption stuff, and we were just kidding about the get out of jail free cards. It's all bullshit. We don't have those. We don't give them out. Does not exist. Just to be clear, we don't have get out of jail free cards. So thank you to so many of you also for supporting me in my run for sheriff. I will tell you that campaigning is a brutal, miserable experience. One that I didn't enjoy at all. And it's interesting, after you win, they tell you, oh, you got to forgive all the people that were nasty and brutal to you. And if I was a good Christian, I would be standing before. I am a good Christian, but I haven't forgiven everybody just yet. I want to be very clear about that. You know, because people can say and do what they want, and I get it. That's fine. But I beat them all. I won the primary, 58%, and I feel pretty good about that. But the most important part about all of that is that you get this opportunity to run, to lead the men and women of Metro. And I know, because I've done it for years, and that if you lead the men and women of Metro, if you motivate them, if you empower them, if you inspire them, they will literally move the mountain for you. That is why I ran for sheriff, because I believe that we can be the safest community in America. I believe in the people that we have working on this organization, and I believe in that dream. And I will tell you that there's three things that I want to talk to you about very quickly. The first is that while I was out on the campaign trail, we had a number of things happen. And it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about Derek Chauvin and his kneeling on the neck of George Floyd in Minneapolis for 9.5 minutes and committing murder. Wasn't that long ago that this community was burning, just like other communities all across this great nation of ours. We don't train our police officers to kneel on the neck or the back of a man for 9.5 minutes. There are those that want to shy away from the truth. And the truth is, we do not teach that. That is not acceptable. That is not okay. And then very quickly we move into Memphis. And we have the death of Tyree Nichols at the hands of 5 police officers. And weak law enforcement leaders, I've heard say that it was black officers beating a black man, and so it was going to be okay. Nothing okay about beating a man to death. Nothing okay about that at all. And so I get to thinking, and been thinking about this for a long time. What in the hell is the status of community policing in America today? Because every single police department in this country will put on the side of their cars and on their website that they're a community policing organization. And the truth is, I don't think most of them even know what that means anymore. That's the truth. I think it's become a buzzword. And so the very fundamental, basic core philosophy of this police department's community policing effort today is to inject humanity into all things that we do. Bottom line. When you ask me why inject humanity, if humanity had been present in Minneapolis, Minnesota, George Floyd would be alive. If humanity had existed in a single officer in Memphis, Tyree Nichols would be alive. And we have our own problems here in Las Vegas, and we will continue to be challenged in our line of duty work because policing is a difficult job. But as we continue to focus in on injecting humanity in every one of those situations, I believe we're going to be far more successful than we ever have. The second part of this is that I will tell you that my wife was a retired deputy chief from Metro now. She's been retired a year. I've been retired 2 years before I have now taken back as the sheriff. I had this opportunity to sort of reflect on a 30-year career. And I realized a number of different things after I retired. One of those is that it's very simple for people to understand singular instances of trauma. Things like 1 October, where our men and women went out there, where 58 men and women died, and 422 other people were shot with an AR-15 round, and 850 people were injured. That's simple for us all to understand the trauma that must have happened to police, firefighters, and EMS on a day like that. But what we don't recognize, and what weak law enforcement leadership has done for years, is failure to understand and to recognize what it is that these men and women, police, fire, and EMS do day in and day out, and the effects of cumulative trauma over a 30-year career and what it can do to our people. And what we have never done is stood up and said, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay that you are feeling what it is that you're feeling. We have higher suicide rates. We have higher alcoholism rates. We have higher divorce rates. We have all of those things because the entire time that I was a cop, we were told, put it where it belongs and get your butt back to work. No more. We are going to confront these challenges head on. We are going to recognize the impact that it has on our men and women, on our heart, mind, body, and soul. And that is why James Kilber and Captain Bitsko are building a first ever wellness bureau at Metro to focus in on the heart, mind, body, and soul. But most importantly, I'm using my power as the sheriff. So they don't pay me crap, right? Okay? But what you do get as the sheriff is you get a lot of power. And you use that power for the greater good. And the greater good is to get all of the other law enforcement, fire, and EMS leadership, along with the other electeds, together to take care of our first responders in a markedly different way than we ever have. Because the truth is, if we do that, they will take care of this community in a markedly different way than we ever have. I am so excited about this. Thank you. The last piece I just want to say, I know we're running out of time, but I will tell you this, that coming back to Metro after having a really cushy, high-paying job in the private sector and flying around on a pretty cool private airplane was great. I came back, and so my first 11 days at Metro, I had 11 homicides in 11 days. And I was wondering what the hell is going on. And I had, by the way, this last weekend, I had five people whose lives were taken on our streets. And we are working. Crime is never going to be solved by incarcerating everybody. See, mental health, addiction, and homelessness are all three large drivers of crime within our community. And by the way, incarceration doesn't fix mental health, addiction, or homelessness. It just doesn't. But that's no excuse for what is happening in the world of violent crime. There is a reason that we still need a prison ministry. And those that are out there creating victims, causing others to lose their lives, to be raped and robbed and pillaged, need to be staying in the Clark County Detention Center. Now let me be honest with you, and I'll be clear about something, so don't beat up these judges, because it's not been a single one of them. But the truth is that just this most recent incident, I had an individual that had just been released from jail for murder. Just a couple of days ago, he had been arrested for riding on our bus, one of our RTC buses. We arrested him for assault with a deadly weapon and carrying a concealed weapon, a knife. 3 days later, he killed a man after having been released with 0 conditions, no bail. He goes back to the RTC bus and stabs an individual so bad they're writhing around on the ground, clearly mentally ill as can be. Didn't like the fact the person was still alive, says, well, you're still alive, straddles the person, and then brutally finishes that person off on a bus and waits for us. We've gone too far, folks. Gone too far in letting these violent, homicidal criminals out of jail. I need your help. We've gone too far. Okay? I'm not asking you to help me with low-level offenses. I'm not asking you to help me with drug offenses. I'm leading the effort to try to help and get people assistance. But what I need is I need your help to make sure that we put the pressure on those individuals that are elected just like I, to make sure that we're using common sense approaches to keep these violent individuals in jail. We have some very exceptional judges. And you know, judges are going to get pissed at me for saying this. And I don't care. Because the truth is that somebody who just got out of jail for murder, just got arrested for assault with a deadly weapon in CCW, should not be given the ability to kill somebody on our bus 3 days later. Our crime, let me tell you where we're at right now. I have 31 homicides right now in my jurisdiction. Same time last year, I had 19. We're on track to have the highest number of homicides that we've ever had in Southern Nevada if that pace continues. I will tell you that I don't sleep during the weekend when 5 people die. I don't sleep when just prior to that we had a 17-year-old brutally murdered in the downtown area. We talk about their names because they are people and they are members of a family. Every single one of these people that lose their lives, their families are changed forever. That is what we are teaching our police, to take it personal, to make it matter. Because somebody's husband, wife, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, you name it, is no longer with that family. And I don't care where they came from, what their background was, what their arrest record was. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if they were a gang member or not. I don't care if they sold drugs or not. They are still human beings. And again, we have to inject humanity in what it is that we do. We have a responsibility, a duty, and an obligation to keep this community safe. But we can't always keep it safe if we keep letting violent criminals out of jail. I want you all to be very clear about what I'm saying here. I'm not talking about keeping low-level offenders in jail, because we know that that doesn't fix the challenge. But we cannot have people out preying on our loved ones in our community. And so all I ask is your help as we continue to move forward, as we continue to have dialogue. And again, I say don't mess with these judges, because I'll stand with all of them. Not one of them did anything wrong, okay? But they come here, they celebrate with us. This is an opportunity for us to open up dialogue and not point fingers, to make a difference within our community. And so with that, I would just like to say thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate seeing so many of you that I've seen on the campaign trail for a little while. God bless you all. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
One question is, how can we communicate help?
So she asked asked me, how can you help? I would say to you that events like this are very important for us to all come together. People from all walks of life, people from different mentalities and different parts of the city, to figure out how it is that we can all come together and open dialogue. Because here's what I would say to you is, I could sit up here and call out whoever I want to call out. It doesn't accomplish anything. Open the lines of dialogue to get back to a more common sense approach, what it means to actually make a difference in our community. I'm not always right. My cops don't always get it right. We have a jail full of people awaiting trial for the crime of murder. They've been arrested for the crime of murder. The longest person that's sitting in my jail awaiting trial for that murder, 7 years. 350 people have been arrested for the crime of murder, sitting in the Clark County Detention Center, waiting to go to trial for murder. Now, I would ask you this, if that was one of your loved ones, where do you feel your sense of justice is when 7 years later, we've never even gone to trial? We have things that are broken. Just like we are broken, there are other parts of the criminal justice system that are broken, and we collectively all have a responsibility to talk about how it is that we can do better, because I think we can do better. I'm a hopeful person, glass half full person. I believe that we can do things in Las Vegas that other communities can't do because we come from so many different parts of this country. So thank you, Rita. I appreciate it.
You're building your team. I think everyone should set a celebration for every metro officer in here, for everybody who's doing their part, because we're not doing it.
what you just said. Can you come over?
I just think that you guys are doing your part. Everyone should do a standing ovation for every metro officer in here. Anyone who's on, because it is not easy. Like, I see the tears in your eyes when you're saying it. It's very tough. And if everyone would stand and give a standing ovation for every officer.
And Asian American group is going to start what we call the Sheriff's Advisory Council. This is a group that is committed and dedicated, and Harry's going to start this. If there are any volunteers, let him know that you're interested, because that's exactly what we're going to do, is help and understand the system. And mind you, if those elected officials that we may have helped for one reason or the other has not done a good job of helping our Metro Police, then I think it's time to talk about certain things, to make some changes, because if we keep the city safe, we have an obligation to lessen the murders that's taking place, because it can be saved. It's just a theory. You just have to take care of those. If they're gonna be out there, you know they're gonna kill somebody again and again and again until they're caught or whatever.
And as we continue Mike's legacy and moving it forward, it's very important that we have our Las Vegas Metro police officers here. Please stand, give a warm welcome to our sheriff, Kevin McMahill, as he introduces his officers. Welcome.
Please. All right, so turn off. Did that on purpose. Oh, no battery. How about now? All right, thank you. So I've been coming to these for a very, very long time. Thank you very much, Rita, for having me, and Rupi and Donna. A great tribute to Mike, and I have to say that I definitely feel his presence, no doubt about it. And if you knew Mike, you loved Mike. You just couldn't help loving Mike. He was just an incredible human being. Rita is insisting that I spend some time to introduce you to a number of my command staff and individuals throughout my organization. So I'm going to ask my undersheriff to come up here in just a second and sort of do that. for a couple reasons. I'll tell you about that in a second, but I have a few words to say immediately thereafter, but we'd like to introduce you to those captains that are in those area commands and in my command staff as well. So you know who those people are. You knew Joe's command staff for a long time. But I used to watch Joe come up here and do the speech beforehand, and he always told a bad joke or said something completely inappropriate. So I'm just going to skip that part and start all off a completely different way. But you know, one of the most important parts about being the sheriff is that you pick a number 2 who is exceptionally talented. Because the way that I am going to run this police department is that the day-to-day operational responsibility of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department will fall on the shoulders of my undersheriff, much like it was with Joe and I. And so, I don't know what the hell I did, but I ended up picking Andy Walsh as my undersheriff, and incredible human being. And so I'd like to introduce you to Andy. Andy, come on up here. And so he's going to go through introducing you guys to a couple things. I'm going to hand out a few of these, but they also gave me a sheet that was about that big about who everybody was, and there's no chance in hell I could read that. So that's actually why Andy's having to do it all by himself. He can actually read this stuff, and I cannot. In the meantime, where's Jose at? Jose, everybody look at Jose over there. He only printed 40 copies of this, so beat him up on the way out, would you? Good job, Jose. Keep up the good work, Yeah, so the other part, and you'll see, I did something very different within the way that I'm structuring the organization. And that is that we are a 6,000 person agency today, $1.3 billion. We answer around 10,000 calls per day. These men and women are out there working day in and day out. The city is getting more violent. I'll talk about that in a minute. But from having done the undersheriff's job, I realize how encompassing that really is. 4 hours of sleep a night is something you're lucky to get. And I didn't want to kill my people, quite frankly. As competent as Andy is and capable as he is, I also wanted him to thrive. He has a young daughter, a wife who's retired from Metro, and I wanted him to have the opportunity to also become, a person who didn't look back because they were burnt out. And so what I did was I bifurcated the responsibility. And if James Kilber, James, would you please come up here as well? James is my chief administrative officer. And when you look at that org chart, I hired James out of the private sector, and James worked in the healthcare business. Of course, he knows Carla, right? So he ran 3 separate businesses as the CEO, and he has all things that are sort of not crime related within Metro, although kind of everything is crime related. But he oversees administrative functions so that Andy can focus solely in on the criminal aspect of it. So I'm going to have these two, my number 2s, sort of introduced to you. They're assistant sheriffs and deputy chiefs, and you'll hear about some sort of groundbreaking moment here. Actually, I want to say that. I made 2 female assistant sheriffs for the first time in the history. Not just one, but 2, and I think at least one of them is here. The other one might not be here, but we'll let them go ahead and introduce a few. And hurry up, we didn't get a lot of time.
All right, so I think we should do this dinner every week because those are the nicest things the sheriff has ever said about me. So regularly, if I can get that kind of feedback on a regular basis, if I have to come here to do that, I will. But the sheriff is right. In this idea to bifurcate the responsibilities that he held as the undersheriff, when he presented to me that he had this thought, and he said, well, think about it. I couldn't think of, number one, a better idea because he had done the job of undersheriff for 6 years. I knew what he looked like when he left. And then number 2, I couldn't think of a better person than James Kilber to be my partner and my sounding board, and we work together really well. So I look forward to that relationship developing and growing. And really what it is while we talk about how it might be good for me and good for James, it's really good for the community. it's really good for the people that we serve. And so I think that that's really the brilliance behind the move is, while it benefits us personally in our health and our family lives, it really is good for the people that we serve. So anyway, so I get to introduce I have two assistant sheriffs here tonight. One is Jim Seebach. James, if you could stand up, everybody knows Jim. Jim is responsible for all the patrol operations, so the patrol deputy chiefs, who I'll introduce in a second, and the patrol captains all report to Jim. That's all within his area of responsibility, and he's doing a good job to start the year. We average about a murder a day, so keep it up, Jim. Appreciate it. Next is Assistant Sheriff Sasha Larkin, one of the Sasha's in charge of all the investigations and the special operations group folks that we have, SWAT, K-9, the area unit, etc. So another good choice by the sheriff, obviously, in promotions. So these are, what's unique too is we're starting the sheriff's administration with 3 brand new assistant sheriffs. So and we're off to a running start. But so under Jim, we have another thing the sheriff didn't touch on was the patrol division. When Kevin McMahill was a patrol division deputy chief, he had the entire patrol division to himself. And then under Sheriff Lombardo, we were able to put 2 chiefs over that. Now we've seen fit and found a way to make that split under 3 deputy chiefs. So their area, their span and their focus is much narrower. Again, a better way to serve the community to have those deputy chiefs focused on a smaller operational group than the entire city at once. It makes it much easier for them to work with their captains to make sure that you all are getting what you need from a crime and a quality of life perspective. So on the patrol deputy chief side, we have Dory Corin, who's in charge of the tourist safety division. Where's Dory? I thought he went back for seconds. Next we have Reggie Rader, who's in charge of everything on the east side of the valley belongs to Reggie, and then currently Nick Farisi is the west. Many of you may remember Jim LaRochelle, who's not here tonight. He's retiring, so he's leaving the investigative services division spot as a deputy chief and moving off into retirement after 31 years of service. Nick will be moving. Have you been told that yet? I just found out. So, congratulations, Nick. Now, replacing Nick as the deputy chief, I get to announce a promotion here that the sheriff made last week. Carlos Hank, where are you, Captain Hank? All right, so help me out. I can't see the chart in front of me, but I want to make sure I don't introduce a captain that's not here yet. On the patrol side, Reggie, who you have here? Christine Buse from Southeast Area Command. Enterprise Area Command is Josh. Well, okay, Noel, you can stand up. Come on, Noel, go ahead. This is Noel Roberts. He's the captain of the Northeast Area Command. Josh Martinez from Enterprise Area Command. Newly promoted Captain Icky Williams. Where you at? Icky will be going to Enterprise Area Command. I don't think, Josh, we told you where you're going yet. So just stay by the phone, we'll let you know. Tim Hatchett from Bolden Area Command. Representing Northwest Area Command is Lieutenant Greg Fenn. Captain Rodriguez was here earlier, but he skipped out to go to his son's birthday party. So happy birthday to his son. Dave Sims from Summerlin Area Command. And I'll let James Gilbert introduce you. From the airport, we have, this is the guy you really need to know from the airport, Captain Mike Welch. Greg Munson from South Central Area Command. The other one you really want to know is from Traffic, Jeff Coday. And in charge of our homicides and sex crimes unit is Captain Chris Holmes. Convention Center Area Command, we have Captain Steve Connell. Downtown Area Command, we have Captain Brandon Orris. Favorite is Michelle Tavares. I know I saw her here earlier. There she is. Who did I miss? Who else is here? Fred works for Kilburg, come on.
Right here.
Who else? That's it, I got all my people. Major violators. Brandon Clarkson. Violators and narcotics, so if you have a problem house in your in one of your neighborhoods or close to a business, that's the guy you want to get a hold of. And then also, for the first time, I think we have our PIO here, Jamie Yost from the Office of Public Information. I got everybody. Oh, and Jamie Prosser, Deputy Chief of Homeland Security. Sorry, Jamie. Cintron, where's Captain Hector Cintron from the gang unit? Hey, when you're 55 and can't see past your hand, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, so from the Office of Community Engagement is Roxanne Burke. From the gang unit is Captain Hector Cintron. I think that's it. James, I'll turn the microphone over to you.
Thank you, everyone, for having us. A couple of things I want to say before I just introduce a few people is that I've been in the move from the private sector to the public sector going on 5 years now. And I saw the dedication in the private sector for over 30 years in the healthcare industry. And I've always had a deep respect for our military and our police officers, firefighters, etc. But in the last 5 years, I can tell you, I've never seen the dedication, the sleepless nights, the caring, the grit that these men and women have every single day. And I can tell you that this is probably the most proudest time that I've had working with these men and women and working with the other jurisdictions, FBI, and everybody else that works together to keep our community safe. So I'm proud, and I'm humbled like Mike in the fact that just an honor to work day in and day out with these people. So thank you, and what a privilege I have working for this great agency. So put my glasses on. The sheriff mentioned that we have another female assistant sheriff. Her name is Yaz Yatomi. She is unfortunately sick tonight. And it's unfortunate that she's not here, but a wonderful human being, hard worker, and let's give her a warm. Okay, under Sheriff Yatomi, I'm going to just kind of go through who my chiefs are. Deputy Chief Fred Haas. Fred, you really want to get to know Fred because he runs CCDC, the jail. And so, you want any free get out of jail cards, he's the guy to talk to. Next over our Professional Standards Division is Deputy Chief Mike Gennaro. Mike. Great guy, both these guys to work with, and what a privilege. Barbara Duran, she is our Division Director. Barbara Duran, are you here tonight? She's over. No. Okay, Barbara is not here, but so anyway, as the sheriff said, I try to help with the business side, and this is a $1.3 billion business. And I love the concept that the sheriff came up with, especially since he hired me. But you're right, it's a $1.3 billion business. We have to be good with our money. We have to use our resources to the best that we can. And again, thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. It's a pleasure, and great seeing all these wonderful faces out here. Good seeing you, Kelly.
I want to turn it back over to the sheriff, but before I do, I just want to have a comment and share a story about Mike. And I first met Mike when I worked for Matt McCarthy when he was the captain at the Enterprise Area Command. He said, "Hey, come to this lunch with me." And I went, and that's when I first met Mike. And then I went to a dinner that was hosted by this group and got to interact with the group all the way back in 2011 when I was a lieutenant. So we're talking about 12 years of my career where this has been, part of what I've done. But then when I was a captain at the Downtown Area Command, I remember Mike called me one time and he said, "Hey, I have some turkeys." And when you mentioned the turkeys, and I saw all the pictures, I was sitting with Spencer, and I said, man, the turkeys, I'll never forget the turkeys. He showed up at the downtown area command with a tractor trailer full of turkeys. I think some of the same people that came running out of the budget suites got 3 or 4 different turkeys, different sizes. I'm not sure where they all went, but his heart was in the right place to give those out. And spent hours down there just doing that type of work, and to a community that was just so vulnerable and needed so much from others. It was turkeys and toys, and we all say it, we can feel his presence in the room, but I appreciated you sharing that, and the photos that we were able to look at should be a reminder to all of us of why it is we're here and why we've chosen a life of service. So thank you all.
Asian American Group Fashion, if you can please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to go ahead and get started this evening. Again, welcome to our guests, welcome to our officers. Thank you, Sheriff Kevin McMahill, for being here. And let's go ahead and get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball! Please remain standing. I would like to call to the stage Angelica Viarta, singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Angelica. Over 20 years ago today, Mike Vaswani started the Asian American Group to serve the community on behalf of the community. And now his legacy continues on. And this evening we celebrate our sheriff, we celebrate the men and women in blue. Thank you, Metro, for being here, and thank you again, Sheriff, for being here. My name is Stephen Peralta, Foundation President for Nevada Donor Networks, and it gives me great honor to be your MC this evening. Tonight, we wanted to thank our sponsors. Tonight is made possible by the Asian American Group hosting us this evening, but this night would not be possible without the many sponsors making this event and many events throughout the year happen. Our sponsors include the Valley Health System, thank you, Nevada Health Professionals Network, Nevada Community Health Center, the Jimerson Law Firm, the Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce, GMT Care, Paul Mortuary, Sky Vista Consulting, Liberty Mutual Insurance, Droises, HR Global Consulting, AMR, Nevada Care Providers, Ann Fontaine, Comparian Insurance Agencies, Hayes Wakayama Juan, the African Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Noel Yumika, and Ronnie Chang. Thank you again to our sponsors. Let's please give them a round of applause. Our special guests, thank you for taking the time out of your evening to be here this evening. If we could also please recognize some judges in the house. Judge Susan Johnson, thank you for being here. Judge Vita Yeager, thank you for being here. Judge Jessica Goody, thank you for being here. Judge Amy Wilson, thank you. And Judge Jennifer Schwartz, thank you for being here. Also special recognition to some of our Metro police officers, FBI Special in Charge Spencer Evans, FBI Assistant Special in Charge Ray Johnson, FBI Media and Public Relations Sandra Brault, Regional Vice President of the Valley Health System Carla Perez. Thank you, Carla. We also have this evening our Chief of Staff from the Lieutenant Governor's Office of Stavros Anthony, Rudy Montan. City Councilwoman of Henderson, Carrie Cox, thank you for being here this evening. And Senior Vice President of Toro University, Shelley Berkeley. Thank you for being here. President of College of CSN, Dr. Frederick Zaragoza, thank you for being here. Vice President of Academics, CSN, Dr. John McCoy. The Dean of UNLV School of Medicine and Health Affairs, Dr. Mark Kahn. The Dean of UNLV Boyd School of Law, Leah Chan Renault. UNLV Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Chris Heavey. Our the Assistant Dean of Administration, Outreach, and Engagement at UNLV School of Nursing, Nakia Jackson Hale. UNLV Senior Director of Development, Boyd School of Law, Heather Rappaport. Special recognition to the President of Palm Mortuary, Selena DeLulo. And our very close Asian American friend, Jerry Schroeder, representing the Office of Congresswoman Susie Lee. Thank you, Jerry. Representative Senator Catherine Cortez Masso's office, Delisa Galmidi. Representative Senator Jackie Rose's office, Julia Coleman. Also with us this evening, we have the Vice Chair, Nevada Commission of Minority Affairs, Angelica Villarta. Our Urban Chamber of Commerce Chairman, Jaron Bray. Our African Chamber of Commerce Favor Chikalu. Our Chinese Community Leader, Ronnie Chang. Our President of the Taiwanese Association, Daniel Jinping Wang. The President of the Vietnamese American Community, Kim Lee. Chief Manager of Liberty Mutual for Nevada, Keith Dent. The President of the Philippine Nurses Association, Flora Sasson. President of the Asian American Pacific Islander Nurses Association of Nevada, Zara Garama Goins. And the President of the Asian Real Estate Association of America, Zar Zagani. And also, as we give special recognition and tribute to Mike Vaswani, please give a special welcome to Rita and Mike's son, Sanjay, visiting us from Orange County, LA. Thank you for being here, Sanjay. As we celebrate this evening and our Black History Month, it is a great honor that we welcome and introduce one of our great leaders of our community, Miss Hannah Brown. At the age of 6, Hannah and her mother relocated to Las Vegas in January 1945. Hannah attended Westside Grammar School, then to Madison School as class salutatorian, first of its existence, and then later attended Rancho High School in 1954, then to Las Vegas High School through graduation. Yep. At 15, Hannah was employed at Larry's Music Bar and then joined Western Airlines in 1968. Hannah was the first African American and female to become station manager. Delta Airlines took over Western Airlines, and that is when Hannah's career took to higher position as regional manager and director for Delta Airlines. In 1994, Hannah started to actively work in our community. And in 1999, Hannah was elected president of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. Hannah was named president for the Urban Chamber of Commerce for her 10 years plus service in 1999. And in 2010, Hannah received a $4 million grant from Centennial Committee to refurbish the historical West Side Grade School. In 2021, CCSD honored her with a Hannah Marie Brown Elementary School in Henderson, and the NC Board of Regents selected Hannah Brown as Distinguished Involvement Award. As a strong community leader, Hannah continues to help our community and be accepted to be chairwoman of the Nevada Community Health Center Governing Board. The center is located at 1311 Maryland Parkway and will provide services to the underserved. Services including mental health, pre-cancer testing, senior health services, pediatrics, and adult autism care. The center is under the leadership of President Harry Singh. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Hannah Brown for her outstanding service during Black History Month.
Can we have the new sheriff here?
Stand by Hannah.
Okay. Harry. 1, 2, 3. Say one. One more.
And I just thank you very much, and thank you, Rita, for thinking about me and recognizing me. I mean, you had my life history here, so. But it's always, when you hear someone reading all of that, it's almost like I want to meet that person. Anyway, but this is such an honor, and I really do appreciate it, and I'm so happy to be able to receive it in front of this wonderful crowd.
Thank you again, Hannah. And again, we give special recognition to all of our Metro Police officers and Sheriff Kevin McMahill for your service. Right now is probably one of the most important parts of our program, and that's dinner. But I'm going to have Rita call up the numbers and to find out who's going to fight over who's going to go first. But Rita, why don't you go ahead and excuse? So Sheriff, standing between dinner and the rest of our group is going to be you presenting an award. So please give it up for our Sheriff, Kevin McMahill.
I didn't even do anything yet.
That was my life.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
No pressure.
And Sheriff and the Metro Police Department, the community is behind you, the Asian American group is behind you, and this community this evening celebrates and honors all the men and women for your service. There is one more award being handed out before dinner.
This is a very special hat. Those of you guys who don't know, we lost Mike Vaswani on July 2020, and 2022, sorry. And he wore this hat religiously everywhere he went. And so, well, tonight we want to actually honor one of our own with this hat, and our new chairman, Mr. Harry Singh.
course, my Filipino brother is Dennis Robert, my Indian brother is Harris. And of course, my son is here from Los Angeles because he represents his dad. And when I told him about this, or he mentioned about this, I said, it's a great idea, somebody has to carry it. So we are the strength of AAG, and we will continue to do this. We have a commitment from our sheriff. Please join us.
I'm already sweating. Mike had the same problem, so it's all right.
I hear.
Big ears, huh?
1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And the question that asked me is, what are we doing with the sheriff's night, or you call it whatever? It is a community that is in partnership with our Metro Police. This is what it's all about. You cannot not know them if you're not being in a situation, you make up stories and you do this and you do wrong and all that. We can't help you. But as a community, we can come together, and if you know the station command at each location, please get to know them. Be a partner. Be one of those that are there to help. And they're looking for recruits. I think I'm very right on that one. They're looking for young police officers. Oh, no, he said he wants them all. Can you say a few words on that one? Okay. So this is a partnership. This is what we're here for, so you get to know them, they get to know you. They need to understand the culture. I know we have Vietnamese, we have Korean, we have Chinese, we have Filipinos, and just about everybody too. Indian and Pakistani. So what is not here? Dr. Zaragoza is here too, so you can see that, right? So we are here to partner with you, to know you, to understand what you're doing and how we can be of help to keep our city, Clark City, or Las Vegas City, safe. And that's what we're looking for. If you understand the situation, we're all safe. Thank you.
Rita, I'll have you do the honors of excusing everyone for dinner, and I'll have you.
First of all, I want to call on Chris Parrick. Where are you, Chris? This is your restaurant. Where are you? There you go. Is your wife here? Ah, my surprise guest is right here. Governor Steve Sisolak is here. Thank you. Perfect timing before dinner. Steve, can you say a few words too?
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. I apologize for coming in late. I just got back from Chicago about 15 minutes ago, landed. My wife apologized. If the flight would have been on time, she'd have been here too, but the flight was late. So we started early this morning, and I just want to congratulate Kevin and Metro for what they do every single day. We recognize them on special events like this, but they work day in and day out to make our community safer, to make our community better, and they do a great job of that. And I've been to a lot of events Rita's had here. It has never been this full. It's never been this full. So congratulations again. Thank you for all you've done, and thank you to all the men and women of Metro that every day go out and put their life on the line, make our community safer for all of us. So God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful evening and a great year. So thank you.
One, two, three. Rita, Harry,
Hannah.
Dennis.
Right here.
Oh, I was going to say something.
I see her. 1, 2, 3. One more.
And I was remiss in not recognizing Miss Hannah Brown, who has been a staple and a leader in this community for too many years, for more years than I want to acknowledge that I've known Hannah. But yeah, more than she is old, exactly right. So thank you, Hannah.
We're going to work this dinner right. We're going to start, Dennis. Sheriff's table first.
That's what happens when you have the FBI.
This is the story of Mike Vaswani in relation to Metro. Over the years, he started actually in 2007 and had the partnership with our Metro Police. So please watch the video, it's only about 3 minutes. Can we get everybody quiet, please, and look at the screen? Thank you.
Well, it's just her and then me. I'm just going there to carry the bags and all that good stuff. A lot of good memories with your mom. Could have been a credit card bill for that's my wife.
Just want to share with you what Mike had to go through. For the last two or 3 years, he was suffering from dementia, turned into an Alzheimer's full-time. And I was home with him. I was very fortunate that my bank, the Nevada State Bank, allowed me to stay home and take care of Mike. I was able to do my work, and he went through a lot of, I cannot say what words to say about Alzheimer's. The doctors would know a lot about that. It's very painful to watch somebody deteriorate. And towards the last few months, few days, few weeks, I did have a full-time caregiver for him. I was the caregiver at night, including Harry, who had to lift him, get to the bathroom, and do all kinds of things at midnight. But it was all worth it. We've been married 52 and a half years. And all these years that we've been here, 32 years in Las Vegas, he had nothing but helping the community. This is why it's called Give Like Mike and Donate Like Mike. He never stopped thinking, what's the next thing? He just kept doing and kept doing and kept doing. You saw all the toys, the turkeys to all the different schools in North Las Vegas. That was coming out from our AAG fundraising that we do. Events like this, whatever we have left, we spend it and we give back to the community, whatever is needed. So to me, this is what Mike is all about, that we need to continue, because it's not about my family or Dennis or Harry or the AAG board. It's about helping everybody who needs. There's a saying that only human can help human. And that's what Mike was all about. And he had 3 wishes. I'm going to share with you. One of them was that he would like to die at home. And that wish came through the help of Nathan Adelson. And of course with Tom Mortuary. Where's Selena? Selena, stand up. They gave him the most wonderful service. I know we had over 600 people who showed up that could not even get in after that. But it was all because he knew a lot of people in town. He helped a lot of people unconditionally. When he said, when your left hand is giving, the right should not know. If the right is giving, don't let the left hand know. Unconditionally. It was not about glory. This is what he was doing for the kids. And the second wish was, I hate to say this, but that to give his organs, all of his organs for donation, which is where Steven Peralta would talk about. Because even when he was giving money, he was giving his time, he was everything, he said, I want to give my organs. Please give all my organs to whoever I can save life. Mine is going. And he mentioned that very briefly a few months before, when he started realizing that he couldn't remember anything. But he wrote it down. First wish, die at home. Second wish, my organs. The third wish is that he wants his ashes to be brought to India. And my son, Sanjay, please stand up. And Harry, we went to India in November to take his ashes to be thrown into immersed into the Ganges River, the holy river of Ganges. And that was his third wish. And I think whatever he has left at home is still there, that he wants to give all his clothes, brand new clothes that we want to donate, whoever needs it, whoever needs to for work. I have almost maybe 45 brand new suits that he never wore, because he was changing his weight from one size 32 to 34 to 36 to 38, and he went back to 34. So he never used them. And you know what, Alzheimer's is very difficult because you have to wear different type of clothing. So this is where we are, that this legacy will continue in the gift giving. Give like Mike, donate like Mike, because he donated his organs. Stephen, please, and you'll talk more about the organ donation.
Events like tonight and having the sheriff here, having our men and women in blue here, it gives us great honor to be able to share issues and to have the community rally behind the Asian American group to talk about issues that are important to the community. When our team received a call from Rita last August, and Rita and Harry called right afterwards that Mike was passing, it was one of the most difficult conversations and phone calls that I had to take. But we know that when it comes time to save and heal lives, and that's what Mike wanted to do, duty calls. And one organ donor can save and to heal up to 75 plus lives, and Mike did that. He saved and healed so many people. His brain was donated for Alzheimer's research to keep our medical breakthroughs in neurological disorders moving forward. So as we celebrate our sheriff and as we celebrate the Metro police officers, this is what Mike wanted to do. He wanted to use this platform to bring in the community and to bring in community leaders to be aware of what's important to our community.
There's one person here that Mike always had dinners every month. Carla Perez, please stand up. Who doesn't know Carla Perez? Raise your hand.
He always likes to put people on the spot. You know, it is certainly my honor to be here as well, to certainly remember Mike's legacy. And, you know, you can just feel his presence here tonight. I'm sure all of you can feel that. And, you know, every time I come to the Mint, you know, and I have to tell a quick story. Rita and I were having dinner here. And as she said, I would have dinner here with Mike and Rita regularly. And the last time we had dinner here, there was this very ominous music playing the entire time we were having dinner. And I said, what is that music? And she said, you're not going to believe this, but this was Mike's favorite song. And it was as though Mike was having dinner with us that night. And it was shortly after he had passed. So it was really nice. It was really very nice and very, very peaceful. So I'm honored to be here tonight as well, to be able to celebrate our new sheriff and to celebrate my very good friend, Hannah Brown, who serves on my board of directors at our hospital system. So thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
So Harry, can you make an announcement, please? Thank you.
Very good evening. It's my turn now. I do not have that injection to inject humanity, but I know how to serve the humanity. I love this gentleman for many, many years now, and we came a little close when he was running for his campaign and he's doing his campaign. And today, I really thank Rita, my family, who has given me this responsibility to chair Asian American Group. And today I announce and request the volunteers to raise your hands who can be a part of Asian Americans Sheriff Advisory Council. We would be doing our services to be a part of each area command offices and to the headquarters by saying, this is what we're feeling from our community leaders, our community individuals. I would wanting to play a role of creating a bridge between uniform officers as well as the general community. So with this message, I request to raise your hands and give your information to my colleague, who is Faith. Oh yeah. Dennis and Faith are here. Please give your names, your telephone numbers and contact details so that we can reach out to you to be a part of this activity. And we want to be volunteers to help our Metro team to save the community under his leadership. Thank you.
In closing, where is Sandra? Sandra, where are you?
I'm right here.
Take one of those bags so you can show what they are. These bags are for all the Metro uniform officers that are here today. This is a special there's wonderful things inside, and I know the men can't use it, but I'm sure you can take it home, okay? the wife or whoever. And this is from Anne Fontaine, and you know that's a very famous name, really famous name. And so Sandra is actually Sandra Rochi from construction company, and her company is the one that built the elementary school. When I found out about her, and she said, I have this and I have that, I said, please bring it because they deserve to go home with something really nice. Now, if you're in trouble with your wife or anyone, that's not my fault, okay? Susan Jensen, Judge, please come over. So on your way out, in a minute, you got it? Take some photo with Sandra here, please.
Go this way.
And Judge Johnson went a little bit beyond of giving an honor to Mike Maswani. And this is such an honor. Sanjay?
Of course, you had to have me come right after the sheriff gives that tearjerker kind of speech.
He's no match for you, girl.
I'm Susan Johnson. I serve this community as a district court judge, but also I am a Rotarian. And when Mike passed in August, and we went to the funeral, we were sitting in the back, Rita. It was almost standing room only. We were given an indication of what, we should donate something in Mike's honor to either a charity of his choosing or one of ours. And we thought about this, Eric and I thought about this, and we thought, why don't we choose one of ours, which is Rotary? And what we decided to do was that we would honor Mike by making him a Paul Harris Fellow. Any Rotarians in the room? Boy, we had a whole bunch at the judges' night. But Paul Harris is the founder of Rotary. And in 1957, they put together a Paul Harris Fellow to honor Rotarians as well as non-Rotarians. And it's where somebody either donates or somebody donates on their behalf $1,000. And so Eric and I decided to honor Mike by donating $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And the projects that they do are not only local projects that you probably have seen, Santa Claus, the Field of Honor Project, things like that, but also in fighting polio and annihilating it from the face of the planet. We're down now to 2 countries, and that's Afghanistan and Pakistan. So with that, we decided to do that. And then Donna made a comment that really they're a power couple. Rita and Mike are power couples. And we thought, how can we award Mike one posthumously without awarding Rita one? So we also contributed $1,000 in her honor. So, as well as the pin. Oh. There you go. There you go.
That's for you. You're the Basmati family. 1, 2, 3. Carrie, would you join us? Dennis, my 2 brothers. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. And somebody asked me, is how many turkeys did Mike give away every year? Oh, geez. What about 2,500 turkeys? And that's every single year. Am I right, Dennis? Dennis always lifts them up, takes them here, and rent the freezer and all that. They were just going everywhere. And I think 3 different elementary schools in North Las Vegas got them, and including the toys. But then we stopped the toys and the turkeys because of COVID. So we're starting that again this year. So we need your help to direct us to where to bring all these turkeys again. And like you said, you tell Mike where to bring it, you tell AAG where to bring it. I'm gonna bring it there. If it's 1,000 turkeys, we're ready. If it's 2,000 turkeys, we're ready. Whatever you need. And in closing, I'd like to get all our AAG board members, please. I know you're dying to be up here with us. Come on. You're all here. I don't need to call your names out. Adnan, Steve, Donna, Ray, Steve. Where's the others? Yorima, Anu. Come on. Am I missing a lot here? Helen, Ronnie Chang. Come on. Who else is there? Okay, come up in the front and with all the requests with the chair. I really want to say that. Bimla, where are you, Bimla? Please, Savita. It's a very diverse group, by the way. You can see how we are here. Las Vegas. Roddy, Dennis, Steve. Shut up.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Who am I missing? Diversity is what it is.
Hey guys, Rita. That's okay. We're good. Okay, Lonnie. Is Ronnie here? Ronnie's there. 1, 2, 3. You're blocking Ronnie. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you.
Real fast, I just want to, I know that we celebrate all the police officers, and the sheriff actually mentioned all the first responders, and I just wanted to point out that we have some of the first responders here, such as the EMS, and I just wanted to have them all stand up so everybody can salute themselves. But AMR, I'm medic rest for responders as well.
Thank you, Donna. And again, it's an honor to have you here, Sheriff. Thank you to our Metro police officers for your service. You have our support. Tonight would not be possible again without our amazing sponsors. Thank you to the Valley Health System. Thank you to the Jimerson Law Firm, GMT, Palm Mortuary, Liberty Mutual, Joyce's, Nevada Donor Network, AMR, African Chamber, Hayes Wakayama 1, and Ronnie Chang. Thank you so much and have a good evening.